Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to evening devotion. So, we got my dad's little truck today. Got it switched over to Kim. She's got wheels now. Her vehicle, she had the engine locked up in it. She had to sell it, so she had nothing to drive. We got it transferred over to her. She knows what's going on. She's got it covered. She's good to go. And now she's got wheels and everything, because she couldn't drive herself to work, and so she went to work today. So she's happy and she's elated and she's elevated, and it's amazing. It's amazing. And she just keeps saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. I was like, don't thank us, thank the Lord. It's all Him. I'm just glad we were able to help facilitate what's going on here. So it'll be an ongoing thing for her to come out of where she's been, a very abusive situation. So yeah, guys, please keep praying for that. She stays strong in the faith and keeps moving up, keeps going the direction she should be going and turning to the Lord. Isaiah 58:11 is our target verse, and the Lord shall guide thee continually. So, in case anyone's wondering, and I said I don't want to share personal details, the other person that was in the equation has some, I'll try to make this delicate. It's mental in nature, but it even goes deeper than that. There are some things that have been seen that seem to indicate quite specifically and directly demonic activity. And there's nothing any of us can do. So he's in a facility now. He's being evaluated. He's safe. He can't hurt himself or anyone else. Guys, I think at this point, without prayer and fasting, what he's got going on won't help. We won't be able to help it, but we can still pray for him that the Lord will intervene on his behalf. He has to call out to the Lord. He has to call out and ask him. He has to call out to him and say, Lord, deliver me from this. He talks to the voices. He talks to them. He has conversations with them. There's something going on there. So anyway, not to get too deep into this, please pray for him too. Please pray for him too, that the Lord will intervene on his behalf, that the Lord will release him from this, free him from this, so that he may follow him. Show the man your salvation, Lord, that he may follow you. That's the best case scenario. But we don't know where this is going to go, and we're hoping that, at least in the short term, no more abuse will happen. And it will only get better, at least for Kim, but where he goes, we don't know. Anyway, a lot of stuff going on today, guys. A lot of stuff going on around the world today. Everybody needs help. Everybody needs encouragement. Everybody needs strengthening. I'm lucky and blessed and glad that I'm able to play a small part in some of that, in delivering what the Lord has given us and blessed us with to others to benefit them. Like my dad's little truck. And we still have one more praise report that's going to happen probably in the next couple weeks. It'll be in January, involving my mother-in-law's car, but I got to wait and tell you that. I don't want to tell you anything about it now. Okay. Because it's another situation we'll need to lift up in prayer. And we'll talk about that. In fact, I'm probably going to talk to you about that. Might be able to do it on camera when we get there. I don't know yet. We'll see. The Lord will guide you continually and satisfy your soul in drought and strengthen your bones. You shall be like a watered garden and like a spring of water whose waters do not fail. It's blessing from the Lord. Let's get up here. 2, 3, 4, 5. Start in verse 5. It is a fast that I have chosen, a day for a man to afflict his soul. Is it a fast that I have chosen, a day for a man to afflict his soul? Is it to bow down his head like a bulrush, and to spread out sackcloth and ashes? Would you call this a fast, and an acceptable day to the Lord? Is this not the fast that I have chosen, to loose the bonds of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, to let the oppressed go free, and that you break every yoke? Interesting. I believe there may be other context here. Let's go start in verse 1. True and false fasting. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up your voice like a trumpet. Tell my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins. Yet they seek me daily, and delight to know my ways, as a nation that did righteousness and did not forsake the ordinance of their God. They ask of me the ordinances of justice. They take delight in approaching God. Why have we fasted, they say, and you have not seen? Why have we afflicted our souls, and you take no notice? In fact, in the day of your fast, you find pleasure and exploit all your laborers. It's an improper fast. It's a fast that brings them nothing but benefit and everybody else around them labor. Indeed, you fast for strife and debate, and you strike with the fist of wickedness. You will not fast as you do this day, to make your voice heard on high. Is it a fast that I have chosen, a day for a man to afflict a soul? Is it to bow down his head like a bulrush, and to spread out sackcloth and ashes? Would you call this a fast and an acceptable day to the Lord? Is this not the fast that I have chosen? To loose the bonds of wickedness. In Kim's situation, that's exactly it. But for all of us, to undo the heavy burdens, to let the oppressed go free, and that you break every yoke. Is it not to share your bread with the hungry, and that you bring to your house the poor who are cast out? When you see the naked, that you cover him, and not hide yourself from your own flesh. It's a fast of doing the right thing. See, there's a lot of different kinds of fasts. It's not just not eating or drinking anything. There's all kinds of fasts. He's talking about a fast of doing the right thing. Doing the right thing to those around us, which by default is doing the right thing for us. We benefit from it, and the Lord is glorified, which is the ultimate goal. Then your light, verse 8, shall break forth like the morning. Your healing shall spring forth speedily, and your righteousness shall go before you. The glory of the Lord shall be your rear guard. God has your back. That's what he just said. He has your back. See, in military terms, the rear guard, so if you have a foot patrol, and even with vehicle convoys, they have that. There's always two Humvees in the pack. Sometimes just one, but usually two. And those two Humvees provide rear security for the convoy. In a foot patrol, 3 to 4 guys, depending how big the patrol is, are in the front for front guard. Everybody else is side guard. And 2 to 4 guys are in the back for rear guard. God always has our back. Then, verse 9, you shall call and the Lord will answer. You shall cry and he will say, here I am. If you take away the yoke from your midst. The pointing of the finger and speaking wickedness. How many people do we see doing that today? Be done with it. There's no need for me to judge another man's servant. The Lord was going to deal with them. I don't need to deal with that. I need to deal with me. Right here. I'm going to spend more of my time helping others instead of bringing others down and talking negatively about them. Now, obviously, if there's false doctrine or some issue, we deal with it. But some people have made a ministry out of that, and it's a very bad ministry. If you take away the yoke from your midst, don't be burdened. So I was talking to Kim about that yesterday. You burdened yourself. You put yourself in this situation. The Lord restrained his blessings because what good would they do you? But now you're out of that. Now look what's happening. It's like within days, everything has changed. When I asked you guys to lift her up in prayer, she said that's when everything started changing for me. I was like, well, that's the Lord. That's how he works. If you extend your soul to the hungry and satisfy the afflicted soul, then your light shall dawn in the darkness, and your darkness shall be as the noonday. Satisfy the afflicted soul. Amazing. This is literally what just happened. I'm finding parallels constantly with what just happened with Kim. The Lord hears our prayer and answers. You guys have been such an amazing encouragement to me that you're so quickly willing to pray for anyone else. And the Lord hears it and he answers it. Has been since I started this ministry. It's amazing. The Lord will guide you continually and satisfy your soul in drought and strengthen your bones. You shall be like a watered garden and like a spring of water whose waters do not fail. Those from among you shall build the old waste places. You shall raise up the foundations of many generations, and you shall be called the repairer of the breach, the restorer of streets to dwell in. Notice that's capitalized. he talking about Jesus? Yes. That verse 12, that's what's going to happen in the millennial reign. If you turn away your foot from the Sabbath, from doing your pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy day of the Lord, honorable, and shall honor him, not doing your own ways, which a lot of people do, nor finding your own pleasure, nor speaking your own words. The whole point of the Sabbath was to sit down and have time with the Lord. Then you shall delight yourself in the Lord, and I will cause you to ride on the high hills of the earth, and feed you with the heritage of Jacob your father. The mouth of the Lord has spoken. Spoken words by him. Do we not take them to heart? Absolutely we do. Now let's see what the devotion has to say about this. And guys, whenever I read these things and the personal experiences that I'm having, some literally in the process of happening right now, I can find connections to this. I see this stuff happening. It's beautiful. I'm very humble that I'm allowed and blessed with the privilege of being able to be a part of it and helping in some way. The Lord shall guide thee. Not an angel, but Jehovah shall guide thee. He said he would not go through the wilderness before his people. An angel should go before them to lead them in the way. But Moses said, if thy presence go not with me, carry us not up hence. Moses said, if you're not the one leading us, don't take us there. I only want you to do it. I trust you. Christian, God has not left you in your earthly pilgrimage to an angel's guidance. He himself leads the van. You may not see the cloudy, fiery pillar, but Jehovah will never forsake you. Notice the word shall, the Lord shall guide thee. How certain this makes it. That means he will do it. Period. How sure it is that God will not forsake us. His precious shalls and wills are better than men's oaths. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Amazing. And so why do people doubt that? Why do people want to debate that? Because they will. You tell them, period, end of discussion. They'll say, well, no, there's stuff we can debate on this. There's certain things that go a certain. Stop. Why are you talking? And this is how you have to be with people that do that, especially and even the ones who maybe are in a higher ministry or learned. Stop. You're already questioning the Lord by literally saying there's more to it than that. If he said it, that's how it is. There's no more discussion to be had. You may want to have one, but it's illegitimate. That's what he said. That's what's going to happen. Period. End of discussion. And they always say, well, no, there's still discussion here. No, there's not. You either believe it or you don't. There's no middle ground. You're not going to walk in the gray area and think you're okay. But that's what they try to do. And it's very unfortunate because it doesn't have to be that way. We can walk in the confidence of the Lord. Then observe the adverb continually. We are not merely to be guided sometimes, but we are to have a perpetual monitor. Not occasionally to be left to our own understanding and so to wander, but we are continually to hear the guiding voice of the great shepherd. And if we follow close at his heels, we shall not err. We talked about this yesterday. But be led by a right way to a city to dwell in. If you have to change your position in life, if you have to emigrate to distant shores, if it should happen that you are cast into poverty or uplifted suddenly into a more responsible position than the one you now occupy, if you are thrown among strangers or cast among foes, yet tremble not, for the Lord shall guide thee continually. We talked about this yesterday. The Lord is always with us. Do you believe it? There are no dilemmas out of which you shall not be delivered if you live near to God, and your heart be kept warm with holy love. He goes not amiss who goes in the company of God. Like Enoch, walk with God, and you cannot mistake your road. You have infallible wisdom to direct you, immutable love to comfort you, and eternal power to defend you. Jehovah, mark the word. Jehovah shall guide thee continually. Do we believe? The Lord is always with us. Especially now, he's with all of his creation, but especially with those that are called by his name, those that believe, those that walk after him. The problem is that people don't believe it. They don't think he's there. They think he's a distant God. He's a personal God. He's right next to you. I've stood in groups of people, we were talking about these, and I told them that y'all don't even realize he's standing here right now. And they actually, it's funny because they actually look around. They look around afraid. Well, how do you know? Because I know he's here. He said he would be. And if he said it, I believe it. Don't you trust his word? Don't you believe him when he says something? Your problem isn't inadequacies or inaccuracies in the Bible. Your problem is you. You don't believe anything's true. You want to doubt and question everything. Why can't you just look at it and say, that's good enough for me? But there are some people who are that way, unfortunately. They will argue and question over everything. I have no time for you because you haven't even decided that you want to believe anything that's right in front of you in your personal carnal life, much less anything involving religion. Atheists are horrible about that to a very high degree. And so their lives are always a life of turmoil. And those who just want to argue and fight that claim to be Christians, they're the same way. They just want to argue and fight and debate, never realizing that's not what we were called to do. We're called to spread the gospel. They're wasting time arguing over things they don't know about anyway, when they could be out there sharing the truth with others and bringing others to the Lord for salvation. What do they think is going to happen to them? We know better. The Lord is with us always. He leads us always. He guides us always. And there are times, and I told Kim this yesterday, there are times where the Lord will let us suffer the consequences of our decision making because we're want to go out and go another direction. Or he'll bring us down to a very low point. And when we finally get to that place where all we do is look up and say, okay, Lord, I give. And we turn the control over to him. He brings us out of it. And everything changes. And he just dumps blessings on us in dump truckloads. See, we're the problem, not him. We're the ones that don't pay attention. We're the ones that don't believe. Do we believe he's with us always? I do. I know he's with me always. I know he is. I know he was standing there with us last night in my mom's front yard. I know he was in the truck listening to what I was saying. I know he's here right now. He's next to me. He's next to you. He's next to all of us. He's listening. He's watching. Because he is very intimately aware and intimately interested in what we're doing. We belong to him. We were bought with his blood. Of course he is. People have a hard time accepting that or believing that. And I've had them tell me over the years, well, I just can't believe that he's here, invisible, watching and listening. Yes, he is. He said he would be with us always. Hello. And he guides our path. Is his word not a lamp unto our feet to light the path in front of us? That's what Psalm says. Do we believe it? It all comes down to that same question. Do you believe? Well, I've seen enough and experienced enough and read enough to believe it. Yes, he's here. He's watching. And when I do right or do wrong, he's watching. His eyes go to and fro in the earth, looking on the affairs of men. Do we believe? Now, for a lot of people who are doing a lot of wrong and thinking they're getting away with it, that's going to be something kind of disturbing for them. You mean to tell me the Lord has watched me do that the other night? Yep. He sees it all. He hears it all. He knows it all. Do we believe? I believe. I believe enough for other people. I have enough faith for others that the Lord will work with them. The Lord will lead them. The Lord will guide them. He uses my videos to do it. He uses other people's ministries to do it. He uses our circumstances to do it. He uses our stuff to do it. Again, I've had far too many experiences and seen and experienced far too much to say anything contrary. The Lord's word is true. I believe it exactly as it states. That's what it says. That's how it's going to be. And I'm okay with it. I've come to the place where I'm okay with it. I would rather it be that way. Because if he's in control, how can we go wrong? If he's running the show, how can we mess up? If we follow after him, we endure and receive the benefits of glorifying our God by obeying him and doing what he says. So my prayer is, may the Lord bless you all richly. May he open your eyes to see things as they are. Open your ears to hear the truth. Open your mind to know what is right, and open your heart to understand it and understand why, what, where, when, why, and how. That his word has a great impact on your life. That you have a hunger and thirst for it, an insatiable one. That your love for him and your love for the word, that you believe it without question. And have no problem saying, well, if that's what the Lord said, that's what's going to happen. It is what it is. That the peace that defies all understanding will be showered upon you all, and the joy inexpressible will be yours forever. These are just a few of the things that are there right now, ready for any who believe. So if you're not a believer and somebody's playing this video for you, or you're hearing some of this stuff, now's your chance. Go to the Lord and ask him. That's all you got to do is ask him. Call out to him. He hears you. Trust me. He hears you. For those of us that do believe, same thing. Call out to him. Ask him. He'll reveal it to you. I know he does. I'm not special. He reveals stuff to me. There's nothing special about me. I'm a chief of sinners. He reveals stuff to me. And if he'll reveal it to me, he'll reveal it to anybody. So what's our goal? Glorify the Lord. Do what he says. Follow close at his heels. Because if we stay close to him, we're always safe. Always. And we always know what to do. And we always have his guiding light to lead us. The Lord shall guide us. Amen. I love you all very much. I bless you all in Jesus' name. I thank you all for your prayers, and I'll see you in the next video.